Welcome to part 20 of the Edward Art Supply Hand series. This part is titled Receptivity. A full link to the written post will be in the description below, as well as Edward's channel, so check that out. And if you like content like this, please like and subscribe for more. Part 20, Receptivity. Denying evidence of the senses and appropriate in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of your desire. A quote by Neville. The definition of appropriate: take something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. In this series, I have spent most of my time speaking on appropriation. It is learning to take what is yours in your mind. That includes things, words, and feelings. That your mind is your own personal reality, that you are either its God or its servant, or should I say, God believing he is a servant. You are either the God, creator, of your assumptions, or their master in your mind. There is no other creator in your mind. There is only yes in the mind. There is no neutrality. Now I want to speak on receptivity. I found this to be important when it comes to imagining. I have noticed within myself a resistance created by me. I want to understand why I was creating a resistance. Here's what I learned. I am creating the resistance because I'm afraid of letting my outer world go. And I am afraid of accepting the wondering things within me. So this calls for an attitude change. It does not matter what it is you seek in prayer, or where it is, or whom it concerns. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth of that which you desire to see manifested. A quote by Neville. Sit quietly where you are and assume the mental attitude of listening. Recall your friend's voice. With this familiar voice established in your consciousness, imagine that you are actually hearing his voice and that he is telling you that he is or has that which you wanted him to be or to have. You assume a receptive attitude of mind. You remain in this receptive state until you feel the feeling of the thrill of having heard the good and wonderful news. A quote by Neville. Receptivity: willingness to consider or accept new suggestions and ideas. Suppose 3 people walk into a mall. In this mall, you can take anything you want. One person went into the mall with the attitude that they were going to say no to everything they see. The second person went into the mall not sure of what they want. They could never make a decision. The third person went in with the attitude that since they're allowed to have anything, they would choose precisely what they want. Now I want you to notice how the one who said no, and there was one who was not sure, was left with nothing. They gained nothing and stayed in their present state of mind. So the point of this analogy is to show you that when you enter into the world of imagination, to enter into it with an attitude of receptivity, an attitude of willingness to accept what you want. Deny: a state that one refuses to admit the truth or existence of. Now we come to denying. That is to say, we must truly let go of what the outer world is showing us. True denial is not looking at your world and merely repeating, "It does not exist," but is actually accepting the new reality within you. You do not deny being unwanted by stating that you are not unwanted. You deny unwantedness with the acceptance of being wanted. It is our acceptance of our imagination, which is our denial of the senses. So denying is not something you do. It is the implication of your acceptance of the imaginal scene. To stress yourself on whether you are denying the evidence of your senses enough is an unnecessary stressor. You do not fight against your senses, for they only reflect you. But true denial, as Neville says, is total indifference. But to be totally indifferent about your senses, you must accept your imagination as the reality. To become indifferent is an emerging consequence of accepting imagination as the one and only reality. Man looks at his outer world, his reflection, and feels it is challenging to give it up, even if it is harmful. But that is only sacrifice that is required of him. Man must be willing to give up his current reflection in order to enter into and feel his desired place in the mind. The only way man can truly give it up is if he imagines something he loves, a reality within him that he loves, something that melts the fear away. If man loves it, man will commit to it. With this in mind, assume an attitude of receptivity, that you are not only willing but eager to accept all the wonderful gifts that you are discovering within yourself. The mind tells you, stop telling me what you don't want and tell me what you are. There is nothing you are not allowed to imagine and feel in your mind. You cannot wait for the world to change to what you want. You must change what you are and have it in imagination. If you are tired of what your world is reflecting, you can be confident it will keep reflecting that until you change you inside your consciousness. This calls for radically giving yourself what you desire in consciousness. View your mind as the place you are safe and free to feel and have what you desire. This will stir within you an attitude of receptivity. This will allow you to feel it as the only reality that is under your control. Go entirely all out in your mind without fear. So before you meditate on the things you love, assume an attitude of receptivity. You are willing and eager to accept the lovely reality you are discovering within yourself. Do not limit yourself to the past. A quote by Neville. Whatever your human reasoning says, learn to accept the great gifts that you discover within yourself. A quote by Edward Art. Therefore, the individual who can summon that will, whatever imaginal act he pleases, and to whom the visions of his imagination are as real as the forms of nature, is the master of his own fate. A quote by Neville. Thank you for listening.